Hello, welcome back to Emerge, the health podcast for busy, high performing women. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Swenson Ridley. Today, I am bringing you deep thoughts that were inspired by my almost 9 year old's desire to have his own YouTube channel and to make money off of YouTube. My son turns 9 on Friday, and he has been talking about and wanting his own YouTube channel forever. I helped him make one like a year and a half or almost 2 years ago, I believe. And because I had to do a lot of the work, it didn't really go anywhere. So this past week, he actually took it upon himself to create his own YouTube channel. He's doing a gaming channel. And I've just been kind of, I think he's actually going to succeed. And I'm going to share why that is in just a second. Like he's legitimately going to make money on YouTube. And I'm kind of awestruck by this because this shows up on YouTube and I really don't do anything with that platform besides load things, content onto it. So, like 5 of you will listen to this there. The rest of you listen on a podcast platform, which is totally fine. That's the way I roll. But I think back to like when I was a kid, like I wanted to be an Olympic soccer player, an Olympic skier. We all have these dreams, and very few of us actually become the thing that we, say we want to be when we're a kid. And I think what separates us, from those who actually follow through on that and those who end up doing something else, which there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, the kids who really make it and succeed, like my son, they have a plan. And so he not only has this dream of having a successful gaming channel and, YouTube channel, and he actually has ideas for multiple channels, but I encouraged him to just start with one for right now. He has the plan to get there. Like his goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers, at which point you start getting things from YouTube, including money, because and ads and all that. And, he laid out not just like, "Oh, well, here's the one thing I'm gonna do." It's like 10 things, he's got playlists and he's got, a reveal thing he's gonna do, not showing his face and kind of building up hype around how many subscribers and at what point he shows his face. He's got all these steps, and I realized that all this time he spends watching YouTube, he's been both seeing how other people do it, and I think actually watching, like, some educational stuff on how you put together a gaming YouTube channel, and so I've just been really impressed and kind of inspired by my own son, which is awesome. He's great. And I love him. And he's, our kids watch what we do as well. Not like I'm trying to take credit for this because I think he's way beyond me, but he's seen me run businesses and kind of work on my own and now work from home. And he's like, "Mom, I'm making money from my bedroom." I'm like, "Haven't seen it yet, but it's coming." In any case, how does this relate to your health? In so many ways. So many of us, we have this dream or we have this vision, right? We have this goal. You want to lose weight or you want your energy back. For the most part, the women that I talk to it's not so much about the weight loss or about looking a certain way. It's like you want to feel like yourself again and you want to have energy and you want to be able to hike and do the things you love to do and play with your kids or your grandkids, right? And so we have that dream, but so many of us have no idea how to get there, or we're doing the same old tired things or the things that don't fully align with us and the time that we have. I was interviewed. I've been interviewed on some other platforms and channels lately. And so I was on one of my good friends and a mentor of mine. She brought me on her show, which is centered around wealth and business and all of that. But we were talking about goals. And I shared, what I share with my clients, and I haven't talked about this in a while. I hate SMART goals. I hate them. Like they're just boring. They're, I'm going to do this in X amount of time by this date. And blah, blah, blah. I can't stand them because they're just so uninspiring to me. And so I really focus and have people focus on what I call dumb goals, which is a Brendan Bouchard thing. He actually came up with this because he also hates SMART goals. And so dumb goals it's a dream, it's uplifting, and then the methods and behaviors that are going to take you to that dream. And then I actually coined my own goal setting acronym called SLIM goals, which are sustainable, life giving, intentional, and mindful. And so many times we will set goals or have these visions and we don't know how we're going to get there. And we don't necessarily need to know that. What we do need to know or have is a plan. And that is where, I think my kid's going to be successful because he has a plan and he has like layers to the plan and he's visualized this whole thing and he likes to tell me all about it and be like, "Mom," and one of his videos got like, I don't know, 35 views in 12 hours as a brand new YouTube channel, right? Like he's obviously figured some stuff out. And so there's a couple things that go into with this. Like one is having that kind of belief in yourself that we did when we were kids, where like anything is possible. because honestly, it is. We just, we use our life experience to hold ourselves back and come up with all the reasons why we can't do something. But the reality is, at any given moment, you are fully capable of changing your life and of doing something differently and having anything be possible. Literally, there are so many stories out there. Tony Robbins is a great example. So many stories. We just have to decide to believe that it's true and to believe in ourselves. I've been sharing some of, my own journey with realizing I lost faith in myself and trust in myself. And I've recently been discovering that again in physical fitness and exercise. And I'm like, okay, how can I apply this to the rest of my life? So we have to believe in ourselves. We have to have a plan, and we have to be willing to do the steps and follow through on the things that are going to make the difference and move the needle, even if it doesn't happen immediately. I talk to so many women, myself included, where we get frustrated because we want it to happen and we want it now. We want the 50 or 60 pounds or, whatever it is, the energy back like overnight. And the reality is, to have any of that be sustainable and life-giving and, intentional and mindful of the rest of your life, which are where I do goal setting from, it takes time. Unfortunately, it doesn't have to take all the time, but until we can believe in ourselves and be present in our own lives and in the moment and just enjoy the journey, like I have been enjoying, it's gone by so fast. I've been doing a 5-week spin program through Peloton. I don't have a Peloton bike, but I use the app on my, Schwinn spin bike or whatever that doesn't cost nearly as much money. But eventually I'm going to invest in their bike because it's just cool. In any case, I'm on week 5 already. And like it's gone by so fast. And I did 2 back-to-back rides where one was an hour and one was 45 minutes. And I pushed myself and I rediscovered that, kind of, they call it a runner's high, but the thing I used to get when I was marathon training of just like, once I get past about 5 miles running, I'm like, oh, I can go. I can do this all day. Sounds really weird, especially if you're not an endurance person or a distance athlete. But those that are, maybe you recognize some of that place where you connect with yourself. And so what I've been exploring now is like, how do I apply this to business and to, the rest of my life, and not just one area? So I should have taken notes so that I'm a little more succinct in all of this. But, what I wanted to share is, and I titled this, a life plan without needs a plan, right? So many of us, we have an idea or we have a desire, but we really have no plan to get there. And I shared a quote. I used to talk about this all the time when I did dinner talks, but 94% of failure is due to not having a plan. And if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I would also challenge you that a lot of you might be listening to this and say, well, I've had a plan, Dr. Alex. Like I've done the exercise, I've done I've done all the things. I'm doing all the things, and nothing's changing. It's, I'm not losing the weight. I'm not any healthier. I don't feel any better. And I know how frustrating that can be. And I will invite you to consider that one of those other pieces, like truly believing in yourself, trusting yourself, having grace and love for yourself through the process, is probably missing. Not probably, it definitely is. Every single woman I talk to, myself included, we are struggling with that. And until we learn to cultivate that and really put that into place, in addition to having the steps and the plan, we not only need the plan, we need to come at the plan with an attitude of, I'm going to kick this thing's ass and do it, right? I don't normally swear on the show, so I apologize if that surprised you, but lately that's just been happening more. We'll go with that. And, so it's not just about having the plan either. It's about who you're being. And so I see my son, he is excited. He is recording videos every day. He is like invested in this thing with no direction from me. He's surrounded himself with, and he and his best friend are working on this together and creating their own Roblox world where they can do all this stuff. Like he's in it and he's doing all the things and has all the pieces in place that I see as what you need for success, right? And that we generally see people who are successful have these things in play. It's their mindset, it's who they're surrounded with, it's having support and help and guidance, whether that's, YouTube tutorials or like the people around you, encouragement from me, from, his peers, all of that, his brothers, who I think will be surprised eventually down the road. But, they also are very encouraging. My stepsons can be teenagers, we'll just put it that way. He's got all those things in place. And so I challenge you to look at your own life and your own goals, whether it's with fitness, your health in general, your hormones, your, next stage in your career, your finances. This applies to all of those things, right? And we're talking about life plan, wealth plan, health plan. All of it is related. And I'm working on this too. How strong is your belief in yourself? How solid is your mindset? Do you really believe in what you're doing? And is it what you want to be doing? Like, what's driving the thing? One of the things my mentor, who I was on her show earlier today, she's working on, this relates to, all of this stuff relates to health as well, but in her personal story, she's working on building a 7-figure business. And the thing she keeps asking herself, that I challenge all of you to ask yourself as you're thinking about getting healthy as well, is like, why? Why do I want a 7-figure business? And I challenge you to ask why. Why do you want to be healthy? Why do you want to lose however many pounds you want to lose? Why do you want energy? Why do you want whatever it is that you're lacking right now that you think you want? Why? Why is that a thing? And a lot of times we can actually get nearly all the way there just by shifting our experience in the world and who we show up as and how we're being, versus focusing on all the what we need to do. Because when we just come at the what, and we're frustrated and don't trust ourselves and, insecure and unhappy and stressed out and all of those things, we're bringing all that into what we're trying to do. And we inevitably will fail and end up not succeeding. And then add that to the list of experiences and reasons of why you cannot succeed. I'm being really blunt here, but that's, that's what we do. It's called the human condition. And so we have to be willing to show up differently and to change. And it can be as simple as just, every time you catch yourself having a belittling thought or, self-deprecating in some way, you just stop it and say, hey, change, and start to love yourself. And, also have the plan so that you can change how you're being and have the plan. And if you're lacking a plan, this is what I do. I help I help with both things. I've got the plan there, and more recently in kind of how I've evolved and how I work with clients and women, we're working on this hard stuff, the finding our own self-worth and belief in ourselves and working through the things that come up and doing that work so that the plan succeeds. Because it's not the plan's fault. It's not your fault either. It's a culmination of all of the stories that we've told ourselves and who we've created ourselves to be and the identity that we have. And at any given moment, we have something that we can do to change that and to be different. So without getting too esoteric on you, that's called neuroplasticity, actually. And, it's a lot of like meditation is one of the ways that I personally have been accessing and working through a lot of this stuff on my own. And there's other things you can do, but it's things that help you change brainwave state, change who you're being, and cross that river into just being a certain way. Like I have, after years of really not being active or, being committed to that, I am now on week 5. I've missed one workout in a 5-week process. And like, that's pretty awesome. I'm going to take that as a win. Some of you might say, oh, but I missed one. I'm like, no, that is damn good, right? Like in the midst of my life and all of the stuff, I've managed to do all but one of those workouts. Like that's pretty freaking cool. So shifting again, your perception, your perspective, and stepping into that belief in yourself, and then work in the plan. And if you don't have a plan, please reach out to me because I will help you come up with a plan. That is like the initial part of us conversing, whether or not we end up working together or not. Like I help you come up with that plan and really know what it's going to take to get from where you are to where you want to be, and help you figure out how you shift who you've been and become who you need to be in the present so that you can have that future that you so desperately want to live into. So hopefully this makes sense. I look forward to seeing all of you next week. If you are not in the free Facebook group, I show up there and have even more conversations like this sometimes, or actually teach some things, well, not like I'm not teaching, but teach some more tangible, let's talk tangible things in the free Facebook group. So jump in there. It's called Emerge, the Emergent Women Community, I believe. There's links in the show notes. So jump in that, connect, and please reach out to me if you need help with any of this or are feeling confronted or inspired by any of the things that I just shared. And I will keep you all posted on how my kids' YouTube channel grows. So with that, we will see you next week. Bye.